You're listening to the Intuitive Mastery podcast. Hi, I'm Kateconnolly, and with over 15 years of intuitive healing and teaching experience, I'm here to help you celebrate intuition and value authenticity to create a world where you have the freedom to live your best life. This podcast is here to teach you how to apply the principles of spirituality, healing, and mindset to have true and lasting joy, all from the inside out. This is the Intuitive Mastery podcast. Hi, everybody. Welcome again to my podcast. I am really excited to talk to you about this today. I have had the most incredibly weird time trying to record this. This is literally, I think, my fourth time trying to actually record this podcast. So, tenacity here, trying to actually get it done this week. If it doesn't work this time, I'm just going to drop it. But it's been a really fascinating technological couple of days where I've run out of disk space and things have dropped off and internet's dropped out and things are just not working. It's just been the most bizarre time. So really bearing in mind that there's a lot of kind of solar flare activity at the moment, and I'll touch on that today. There's all of these really weird things happening technologically for me right now. So if this gets to you, it means that it worked for the fourth time. So today I wanted to talk to you about the idea of energy, but energy in terms of exhaustion and fatigue and not really having enough of it. Different reasons why we might have it and different ways that we can actually get better and feel better from it. So we have the really obvious types of energy fatigue or tiredness that happen in our body. People have things like chronic fatigue for very real reasons. There are viral issues or inflammation or, long-term stress that can show up and create fatigue in the body. But I honestly believe in all of my years of healing that there's other stories at play with pretty much all of these situations. And it's not as simple as take some herbs, drink some celery juice, and you're good. I do actually believe that there's a lot more to it than that. So I'm going to kind of dive a little bit into the concept of multidimensionality. I'm going to dive into the concept of this existential exhaustion that can show up for people. So it's going to go a little bit out there, but, put your seatbelt on and come with me if you're interested and if it's resonating, because there's some really, really cool information out there that can be quite helpful, I believe. So if you love what you're listening to and you want to learn more, please click subscribe. Please join in and just follow and get some information for you. I also have an intuitive mastery school, which I run, where we do a deep dive into all things consciousness, intuition, spirituality, dealing into healing protocols and programs. And there's so many beautiful things that we have in my intuitive mastery school. It is a live online class every single week. And we show up and we get to work as a group and a community in healing, spirituality, consciousness building. Every single week, I have a live channeled meditation, and it really helps to kind of code, upgrade, and activate your DNA and your body and your subconscious mind to really kind of get things working and get things activated in your life. Please remember that everything is energy, right? So if you're trying to reach your goals and you're not making it, or if you're finding that you're not able to get different aspects of your life in place, it's probably because your energy isn't aligned, and it's probably because there's something that's missing in terms of your spiritual energetics. Intuition is a part of that, and learning how to harness and increase your intuition is a really powerful way to learn how to know yourself deeply and to work through things when something goes wrong. So if you're interested in joining us, we have 2 weeks free. And after that, it is super affordable. It's only $10 a week, super affordable to jump on and just join us. You can come on live to our classes. And I also have a massive library of resources, many, many classes, many meditations. You can jump in and just do whatever works for you. And it's just a really beautiful community to be a part of. So I'd love to have you. I'm definitely open for spots. So if you would like to come in, that would be amazing. So click on the link below and jump on in. I also have some high level coaching. If you want an accelerated version, which is one-on-one coaching just with me, and that is a monthly call that you get as a bonus on top of the Intuitive Mastery School itself. So if you'd like to have some more in-depth, intense one-on-one work with me, then jump on and you can join us through the accelerated version if that works for you. And I also have a completely free foundations section for people who just want to have a bit of a taster and see what I've got. And I've got loads of amazing activations on there and podcasts as well. All my podcasts go on there, and all of my activations that I chuck onto YouTube, they're all on there as well. So if you want some ad-free content, you can go across to the foundation section, and all of that is in the link below. Okay, so energy. Energy is a really interesting concept. Now, a lot of the time we can have tiredness and fatigue for really physical causes. And the obvious things are things like, not sleeping enough, not getting enough nutrition, not drinking enough water. All of those can lead to fatigue, working too hard, not having balance, exercising way too much and not being able to recover well. There's lots of different reasons why we can have physical fatigue, and we have very obviously solid reasons why that's happening. So if you suffer from tiredness and fatigue, clearly, obviously, you've probably had a look at that already. And if you have had a look at it and you haven't shifted it, you may be in a bit of a sabotage pattern. So you may need to work on that. But typically, when we have a physical cause for tiredness, we often have an understanding and a reason why, and then we have the opportunity to remedy that. But what happens when you've got long-term fatigue and you don't really know why, right? We've also got the biochemical causes. So we're talking about hormonal imbalance, digestive dysfunction. We've got uh, neurotransmitter imbalance. We've also got uh, toxicity, inflammation, all of the things that happen on that biochemical level that can create inflammation in the body and exhaustion. That is a very real thing as well. So if you have an awareness that maybe your digestion doesn't work very well, or if you've got foods that you react to, if you've got hormonal imbalance, if you feel super fatigued on a monthly cycle, if you're a woman, if you feel this sense of absolute inflammation in your body, and with the inflammation comes fatigue, well, then you may need to be looking at some kind of cleanse or detox to help your body to heal. Make sure that you always consult a practitioner around that, someone who is either a naturopath or a cleansing specialist, or maybe your doctor, to really help you with that. But when you have long-term inflammation and stress in your body, and when you've got long-term digestive disturbance and other biochemical things, you will naturally have a lot of fatigue. So it is actually really important to address that as best you can. So those are kind of the really obvious, aware kinds of fatigue. But what I've come across really fascinatingly in the last couple of weeks in my clinic is existential fatigue, right? Energetic fatigue. This fatigue of, oh my goodness, I'm doing all the right things, but my life isn't going in the right direction. I'm hitting a plateau, or I'm not allowing this new thing to come in, and I'm just so, so tired. My life is exhausting me, right? So I've got two clients top of my head. One of them is needing to change jobs. She lives a long way from her work. She has no balance, but it's not from working too much that she's tired. We've worked through that. It's simply that she's in the wrong job, and the job itself drains her incredibly. It wouldn't drain everybody, but for her, she's not supposed to be doing that job. It's not soul aligned for her. And it's incredibly fatiguing. And she knows that she needs to move jobs, but she's really struggling with that process. And she just feels a general fatigue. There's no balance in her life. She's not allowing herself to create joy, but this existential fatigue, this energetic fatigue around not stepping into her purpose and not stepping into the job that would actually really serve her is creating an enormous amount of exhaustion in her body. So that was one example. And another example is another woman who is in between, I guess, levels in her business. So she runs her own successful business. She's a very, very good businesswoman. She does all the energetic work as well as the physical work. So it's a very conscious business as well. But she's hit a plateau. So for the last few years, her income has plateaued. And her body has now decided that she needs to have a serious upgrade with her purpose, whether she's going to sell her business or upgrade her business or do something different in her business. She's kind of working through those. But her body is starting to show signs of pain and signs of exhaustion as well. And a lot of it, when we kind of drilled into the problem, was this existential energy of I need to do something different with my career. I need to step into the next level, and I don't know how to do it, and I'm just exhausted thinking about it. So there are different reasons why this existential energy can come up. It might be, that you need to get a new relationship. It might be that you're needing to step into something different in your life. It might be that, you need to move houses. It might be that, your health is reaching a critical point, and you need to actually do something different. But please bear in mind, existential energetic exhaustion is not physical. It's not physical. It's almost always like a life purpose, soul goal, something bigger than the physical body. So it might be, I've never stepped into the career that I was always supposed to do. Or I need to finally retire because I need to actually step into my real purpose, which might be volunteering in Africa or whatever it might be. This kind of existential crisis that we hit when men go through their tunnel, usually in their 40s, and they go through this tunnel of who they've been into who they become when they step into their kingship. Some people would call it a midlife crisis. I absolutely don't like calling it that. I don't think it's appropriate. But when they go through this tunnel of finding out who they are, they go through this existential awakening or this existential crisis of who am I really? And questions come up about everything. And so when you have that deep questioning on every level, when you're going through that tunnel as a man, that is an existential energetic awakening. You are questioning everything. You're going into a sense of who am I really? What am I actually doing here really? And if you are a fair way off the path of what feels soul aligned and really kind of exciting and balanced for you, you are going to feel fatigued. If you are well and truly off your soul path, you are going to feel like you are dragging your feet through your life. And a lot of people are sitting in this existential exhaustion without realizing it. They think, oh my goodness, it must have been that bag of chips that I ate, or the bad sleepless nights that I've had, or whatever. And, sure, they will be impacting. But the cause is so much bigger than that, right? It's so much bigger than that. So we have this existential energetic exhaustion. And then if we want to take it even another step forward into the more esoteric, even more esoteric energies, one of the things that I do notice for a lot of light workers, for a lot of star seeds who do a lot of traveling at nighttime, they do actually sometimes have that fatigue transfer into the physical human body. So one of the things that I experienced was as being part of the Pleiadian War Council. And for me, I actually needed to resign from that war council because the fatigue that I had in my body was unbelievable. And it was just absolutely creating chaos in my body here on the planet. Once I kind of stepped out of that, everything started to lift from my body and I felt a lot better. And the other thing that I also notice is that because I have a lot of multidimensional aspects of self doing traveling, and I do a lot of traveling at light, I do a lot of intergalactic work like most light worker starseeds. Um, I have to say that when I go through periods where I just feel like I'm dragging through mud, that that is me going off and doing a lot of intergalactic work. So I also need to know that I need to take it easy in my body on the planet so that I don't actually get more and more fatigued. So I'm becoming more and more aware of when I'm going out and doing a lot of work and needing to go a little bit more easy on my body here. And I have a lot more acceptance around that. And I don't bash myself up because I can't get stuff done. I just look after my body because I know that I'm doing really amazing stuff out there, whatever it is. And I don't need to really be buying into the I'm not good enough. I'm not actually showing up enough on planet Earth. I just give myself a bit of a break. That's a very new phenomenon, by the way, but I am doing that more and more. And then there's also this concept of chakra and core limiting beliefs in the chakras, which can cause enormous amount of fatigue as well. So we all have many chakras in the body and out of the body as well, above the body, below the body, and through the body. And they create kind of like our energy centers. They have different colors, they have different colors in the 3D and the 5D, and they also have and hold what we call our core limiting beliefs. And when we have the core limiting beliefs that are unhealed and are just playing out in our lives, that can cause enormous amount of energetic fatigue as well. So if you are holding on to a lot of really old stuff, if you're finding it extremely heavy and extremely tired to walk around in your body and you're walking around with behaviors that don't serve you, it could very well be that you're holding onto and expressing a whole bunch of core limiting beliefs that are sitting in your chakras. So it is worth it to go and see a good energy healer or a Reiki practitioner or someone who really knows what they're doing with the chakras so that you can start to shift and heal those core limiting beliefs. And I'm telling you right now, the energy lift is really phenomenal. If you can actually get all of those cleared really well, you can actually have infinitely more energy just by getting those done as well. So you can kind of see there's multiple different levels of energy going on, and there's multiple different reasons why we can feel fatigued and really tired. So I'm just urging you to be really kind to yourself. And sometimes, yes, just rest is necessary when I've got that intergalactic stuff going on. If I can just rest my body in the physical right here on planet Earth as I am here, kateconnolly, then I can definitely have some relief from that. And even just having the awareness that it's work that I'm doing out there, I can often give myself permission to detach from that more so that I can start to get more energy back. I can ask for that aspect of myself to calm and slow down so that I have more energy back. And I also can give myself permission to just drop what I need to do here so that I can really rest myself. And dropping what I do here is not something that I do very easily. I have 4 children, I have a business that I run. So it's not necessarily as easy as doing that, but I do actually very much allow myself to do that these days when I can, because that is the way to move through these things. So giving yourself permission to put your balls down for a minute, all the balls that you're juggling, allowing yourself to drop them a little bit is really, really helpful. Giving yourself permission to step into that is a powerful thing that you can do. Um, if you haven't noticed, I've just had my beautiful 4-year-old come in and need a bit of attention. So I've just lovingly, after a minute, placed her down. So hopefully we can get the rest of this done. But what we've got is this energy kind of drainage that happens from existential stuff. It can happen without us realizing it. And if we're doing all the right things physically, biochemically, and we're just not really cutting it, sometimes just asking your guides, asking the universe, asking your body to just let go of those multidimensional selves so that you can hold on to just who you are in the moment is a really powerful way to just give yourself a break, to be honest. We're still all really connected to those multidimensional elements of ourselves, but we need to learn how to separate them a little bit at times, because when it's creating actual physical fatigue and problems in the body right here, right now, and I've had really strong physical evidence of this where I let go of that Pleiadian war cancel position. Oh my goodness, my entire body, my entire life felt so much lighter and so much easier. It is actually a really important thing to be able to give yourself that break and give yourself that sense of peace. So again, if you let yourself just say, allowing those multidimensional aspects of selves to remain separate for now, and just holding on to your own sovereign body, and just holding on to who you are in this moment is a really important thing. So you can actually create that distance and not be so fatigued. I'm recognizing more and more that I've got many different aspects of self that are constantly doing this, and my guides are constantly saying, I'm sorry, but we're not going to let any of your other roles go. You actually need to rest your physical body, because I'm so sensitive these days and because I'm so aware of the different aspects of myself. It's almost like that awareness makes me more tired. And so for anybody who's super energetically sensitive, you'll probably notice the same thing. For a lot of star seeds who do a lot of energy work, you'll probably also notice the same thing. So just bear in mind, tune in and ask yourself, ask your guides, is this actually what is going on? And if the answer is yes, allow yourself to just kind of just let them go for a bit and just energetically separate so that your body can get some respite, and also allow yourself to do all the physical things, do the going to bed early, doing the, eating well, doing the detox if you need, doing all of the physical things and the biochemical things that you need to do to reset your body. And also just being really mindful, especially at the moment. So we're roughly January 2024. What is going to be showing up so massively for you at the moment is a lot of energy disturbances. So there's a lot of solar flares going on at the moment, and the solar flares are actually creating a huge amount of disturbance in energy sensitive. So if you have any unresolved stuff, if you have things that you're working through, if you are feeling particularly fatigued from lack of sleep in particular, it's not because your sleep cycle is having a SPAC attack, even though for a lot of people it might feel like it. It is because all of the energy in those solar flares is actually creating a lot of disturbance in the energy body, and it will be impacting your sleep. So if you are having sleeplessness and if you are having fatigue because of sleeplessness as well, then bear in mind that what's happening in terms of solar flares, Schumann resonance shifting, all of this is really scientific as well, this aspect, because it's out there. There's a lot of scientific evidence that talks about the Schumann resonance shifting, which is happening in that transformation of Earth from the 3D to the 5D. And then we've also got all of these solar flares, which are creating a whole bunch of, it's almost like energy energy shifts and a whole bunch of kind of energetic input onto the planet when these happen. And it really does disturb your internal energetics, your biochemistry, sleep, moods, stuff that's unresolved, that's going to come up really strongly for you right now. So if that's happening, please be kind and patient. Allow yourself to do any emotional work that you've got. Go and see any energetic healers that you have, or Reiki practitioners. You can join things like the Intuitive Mastery School, where you can get information and tools on how to shift this as well. And yeah, there's lots and lots of information out there these days. People are waking up. We're becoming more and more aware of all of this stuff. And for you, if you're listening, you're going to be in the pointy end of this change, because you're already going to be a level of awake, and you're all going to, you're going to be curious about this stuff. So always bear in mind there's multiple levels of reason why we can be energetically exhausted. And we're either going to have the physical stuff showing up, we're either going to have the biochemical things of, toxicity, inflammation, and pain syndromes, and that will cause fatigue. So it is important to make sure that you see a good practitioner to get that assessed. But also, if you don't, or you can't find a practitioner, or if there's no one that you trust, it is also really helpful to just do some cleanses, juice cleanses, eating lots and lots of fruit, drinking lots and lots of fruit juice, drinking celery juice, drinking really good broths and things like that. That can make an enormous difference to fatigue levels and to toxin levels. Medical Medium has a lot of really good information on that. There's lots and lots of evidence to suggest that cleansing the body with fruit is a really powerful thing to do as well. So go with what works for you, and go with what resonates. This is about your intuition. So go with what intuitively feels like the thing that you need to do, and follow that so that you can get some level of resolution for that. But also the energetics. So don't forget the energetics. You've got the existential energetics of being lost in your direction, or your soul needing to find a different path. So if your soul is off the path that it really desperately wants to be on, you're going to have fatigue. So you may have some really big questions coming up, like, is this the right career for me? Is this the right, city for me to live in? Is this the right relationship for me to have? And it's just really tricky to, do that overnight. But at least if you have awareness of it, then you have the ability to start creating changes, and that can actually really increase your energy. So if thinking about that new, amazing, wonderful job gives you energy, then maybe that's what it is. If thinking about getting out of the relationship that you're in, and having a different relationship, or even being single for a while, gives you a lot of energy, maybe that's what it is. So allow yourself to just explore those different elements and see what might be showing up for you. And typically what happens is that once you're out of that situation and you're doing something that's actually really soul aligned, your energy becomes so much better, and you feel so much better within yourself. So that's a really important thing to keep in mind. And then again, you might have belief systems sitting in your chakras. Go and see a practitioner for that, or a Reiki practitioner, or, join my school and get some tools on how to clear that stuff out. And then you've also got the other energy work of the intergalactic stuff as well. So allow some level of separation so that you can rest and rejuvenate. So lots of information. I hope it was really helpful. And remember, energy is just that. It is in us, it's around us, it's within us. It is multidimensional. It is what makes up the multiversal aspect of who we really are. So get curious about it. Don't get scared, get curious, and just find ways that it works for you, and how you can actually allow yourself to remain a really healthy, strong, powerful individual. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope you liked it. Again, if you are loving what you hear, please subscribe. Love to hear your comments and information that you might want to share as well. And I look forward to talking to you next time. Bye.